Sherlock Holmes 3 update reported amid RDJ spin-offs. The long-awaited Sherlock Holmes 3 is finally addressed amid reports of 2 new Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes spin-off shows. Based on the iconic detective stories from author Arthur Conan Doyle, Downey Jr. teamed with director Guy Ritchie for 2009's Sherlock Holmes. The movie, which co-stars Jude Law as Holmes' partner, Watson, was a big hit with audiences, earning over $524 million worldwide. The sequel, Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows, was released in 2011 and, despite similar box office numbers, proved more divisive among fans and critics. Although Downey Jr. seems more than willing to reprise his role as Holmes, a third movie has been stuck in development hell for more than a decade. The film was originally slated for release in 2020, but was bumped to 2021 due to the coronavirus pandemic, a release date that has since come and gone. Dexter Fletcher, who was set to direct the third movie, announced in 2020 that Sherlock Holmes 3 was on hold indefinitely, and updates have been hard to come by since. News finally emerged today, however, that Downey Jr. is developing 2 Sherlock Holmes spin-off shows for HBO Maximum. With the announcement of the 2 spin-off shows, many fans are undoubtedly curious about what these projects signal about the progress of Sherlock Holmes 3. In their same report announcing the Sherlock Holmes HBO Max shows, THR provides a brief update on the threequel, revealing that, essentially, the project is still on hold. The report simply claims that a third movie in the franchise was in development, but never moved beyond that stage. The report provides no further updates on the movie, and the statement implies that nothing has changed since Fletcher's comments in 2020. Interestingly, however, Downey Jr., who is slated to produce the upcoming Sherlock Holmes HBO Max shows alongside his wife and producing partner Susan Downey, revealed plans for the shows back in 2020 amid ambitions to create a Sherlock Holmes extended universe of sorts. The pair previously announced that the shows would focus on new characters that would be introduced in Sherlock Holmes 3, but, with no plot details about the shows having been released thus far, it's unclear if this is still the case. Fans of Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes franchise have now been waiting over 10 years for the third movie, and the recent announcement of the spin-off shows has raised more questions than answers. The indefinite delay of Sherlock Holmes 3 in late 2020 due to the pandemic is understandable, but now, as things are getting back to normal for the movie industry, many fans will likely be wondering whether the movie will soon move forward. With both Downey Jr. and Law having previously expressed interest in reprising their roles, and with the franchise having proven itself profitable for Warner Brothers, it's not unreasonable to assume that Sherlock Holmes 3 will eventually come to fruition. It just looks like fans will have to wait a little longer. Rob Zombie's The Munsters image reveals first proper look at movie. Rob Zombie shares a new image from the set of The Munsters, which reveals the first proper look at the upcoming reboot. While best known for violent R-rated horror films like The Devil's Rejects, 2007's Halloween, and 3 from Hell, Zombie's next project, The Munsters, is his first PG-rated movie. The Munsters is said to be something of a passion project for Zombie, with the film first being announced back in March of 2021 and simultaneous release in theaters, and on Peacock later, in 2022. Development and production on The Munsters has been slow-going, but Zombie regularly engages with fans on social media, sharing images from the set and revealing character costumes and locations, including the faithful recreation of the Munsters' home, 1313 Mockingbird Lane. While a firm plot of the movie has not yet been revealed, the movie is expected to follow in the footsteps of the original series, which tells the story of a family of monsters who move from Transylvania to the American suburbs. The Munsters stars Sherry Moon Zombie, Cassandra Peterson, Jorge Garcia, Daniel Roebuck, Richard Brake, Catherine Skell, Sylvester McCoy, and Jeff Daniel Phillips. In a new image posted to his Instagram, Zombie shares the first proper look at the upcoming movie. The image is of a production monitor, which shows Grandpa, Lily, and Herman Munster, played by Roebuck, Zombie, and Phillips, respectively. In addition to giving a better look at the characters and the interior of the Munster family home, Zombie's image also includes a caption that celebrates the three actors, whom he calls very tired Munsters, and praises their perseverance through grueling 18-hour workdays. Check out Zombie's Instagram post. As has been shown off in previous images, Zombie's dedication to recapturing the magic of the original Munsters show is on full display once more. From the intricate costumes to the highly detailed interior of 1313 Mockingbird Lane, Zombie is clearly working hard to ensure that everything in the movie is just right. Zombie's caption highlights that he's far from the only one working hard, however, detailing 14-hour shooting days that are made even more arduous for certain cast members, who have an added 3 hours of makeup at the start of the day and an hour of cleanup at the end, not to mention the travel time to and from their accommodation. Despite a long time in development and now production, a trailer has yet to be released for the Munsters. There's no word yet on when fans can expect to see the cast in action in the first trailer for the film, but, hopefully, there's not too much longer to wait. It remains to be seen how Zombie's first PG-rated movie will fare with general audiences and his longtime fans, but, with the abundance of behind-the-scenes looks and the director's latest Instagram post, it's obvious that an immense amount of time, love, and effort is going into the Munsters. Morbius and Vulture's Spider-Man connections explained by director. Morbius director Daniel Espinosa tries to explain how Michael Morbius and Vulture share a connection with Spider-Man. Morbius is the latest Sony Marvel film to hit the big screen, based on the comic book villain of the same name, who was introduced as one of Spider-Man's many nemesis back in 1971. Unfortunately for fans of the character, the film has been released to largely negative reviews. Morbius' Rotten Tomatoes score currently sits at 16%, and the movie is performing worse at the box office than any MCU movie. The film stars Jared Leto as the titular biochemist, Dr. Michael Morbius, who is searching for a cure to his rare blood disease. Upon finding one, the character gains accidental powers that become hard to control, such as echolocation, enhanced strength and speed, and an unquenchable desire to consume blood. Matt Smith plays the anti-hero's surrogate brother, who shares the same disease, and acts as the film's primary antagonist. The trailers for Morbius surprised fans by hinting at a role for Spider-Man, Homecoming's villain Vulture. However, upon the film's release, the character was only included in the post-credits sequence. Now, in an interview with Uproxx, Espinosa attempts to describe the ways in which Morbius and Vulture are connected to Spider-Man. The director is asked why Morbius, who is established as not being outright evil, though also not outright good, would be interested in teaming up with Vulture. The director responds that Vulture is not a criminal in the Morbius universe just yet. He then expands on the duo's connection to Spider-Man, saying that the web-slinger is a totem, and that each different Marvel universe needs a version of Spider-Man for it to function. He said, "First of all, Vulture is not a criminal in that universe just yet. Morbius would be interested in what Vulture has to say, because in this world, Spider-Man exists. In all the different Marvel timelines, you have a Spider-Man, it's a totem. In the Marvel universe, what you say is that you have to have a Spider-Man in each universe for it to function. He's one of the fundamental beings. Now, that's how it is in the comic books." The director's answers don't fully explain why Morbius, who is not an evil character, would want to join up with Vulture and fight Spider-Man. Nor do the comments shed any light on why Vulture would want to seek out Morbius specifically. They do suggest, however, that Spider-Man has a big screen future lined up and planned out, though whether that would be Tom Holland's MCU version, a Sonyverse Miles Morales, or someone else is unclear. Morbius' motivation for fighting alongside Vulture might not seem to fit in the film's narrative, or make much thematic sense, but it has led some audiences to question how Sony's post-Morbius Marvel films will unfurl. The meeting of the two characters seems to signal a new iteration of the infamous Sinister Six villains group, which raises the question of which other characters will fill the remaining 4 slots. While there are many options, including Venom, audiences will ultimately have to wait and see, but there's sure to be plenty of speculation along the way. Black Panther 2, Daniel Kaluuya's return revealed by costume designer. Daniel Kaluuya's Black Panther, Wakanda Forever return has been revealed by the movie's assistant costume designer. Marvel Studios has been working on a Black Panther sequel since shortly after the original movie was released in 2018, when it shattered box office expectations and earned a Best Picture nomination. Director Ryan Coogler returns for Black Panther 2, which currently has a November 2022 release date. The movie is still happening even after the tragic passing of star Chadwick Boseman in 2020, with Marvel Studios electing to not recast T'Challa. Without the franchise's original lead, it is expected that Black Panther, Wakanda Forever will give other supporting characters bigger roles. This will likely see Shuri, Letitia Wright, M'Baku, Winston Duke, Okoye, Danai Gurira, and Nakia, Lupita Nyong'o have more screen time than before. Other confirmed cast members include returnees like Martin Freeman's Everett K. Ross and Angela Bassett's Ramonda, as well as new additions such as Michaela Cole. Black Panther 2's cast is also confirmed to include the MCU debut of Riri Williams a.k.a. Ironheart, Dominique Thorne, and it is heavily rumored that Tenoch Huerta is playing Namor the Submariner. One Black Panther cast member who hasn't been confirmed to return before is Kaluuya, who played WCABI in the original movie. It now appears that he will be reprising his role for Black Panther 2, though. Assistant costume designer Stacey Caballero updated the resume on her website, which included confirming her involvement in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Her resume lists that she helped make costumes for Bassett, Nyong'o, and Kaluuya, which should confirm that WCABI is in the sequel in some capacity, as the costume department wouldn't make costumes for Kaluuya otherwise. Prior to this reveal, Kaluuya was unsure about returning as WCABI for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. He said in early 2021 that he didn't know if the sequel had a role for his character, though this was before he went on to win the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his performance in Judas and the Black Messiah. It's possible that Kaluuya was in the dark at that point about whether he was needed for the sequel. However, it seems that Marvel did call him and arrange for him to return. It is unclear how big of a role Daniel Kaluuya will play in Black Panther 2. Knowing that WCABI is involved in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever means that the sequel can build off his story from the first film. Despite starting off as T'Challa's best friend, he turned on him to align with Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan. This meant Black Panther's ending saw WCABI arrested by Okoye and the Dora Milaje, and since he and Okoye are in a relationship, the sequel is the perfect place to explore where they stand now, and even what happened to them after Avengers: Infinity War. After all, if rumors of Wakanda going to war with Atlantis prove to be true, WCABI and his warriors could be needed to fight back. Okay, stay tuned to our channel. I'll be providing you with up-to-date reliable movie news. Enjoy.